So, people, the main card, we kick it off with the light heavyweights. Yes, we have Aleksandar Rakić against Azamat Murzakanov, I believe. I'm probably wrong. So, the professional Azamat Murzakanov, right? He is 36, 5'10", 71.5-inch reach. Overall record of 15-0, which means, people, yeah, he's on a 15-fight win streak. Woo! Okay, he came via the Contender Series. He's 5-0 in the UFC. So, yeah, he won that contract in August 2021, right? He was actually meant to make his debut in 2017, right, in the UFC, but things didn't work out, right? So, yeah, won that contract and then made his debut March 2022. Beat Tafon Nurmagomedov, knocked him out in the third round. And it was, he hit a flying knee, and the way Nurmagomedov went down was just timber. You know what I mean? So, yeah, he won his next fight, beat Devin Clark, right? August 2022. Ground and pound in the third. Right? Beat Justin Jacoby by a decision. He then stopped Alonzo Motherfield, right? Alonzo Menafield, second round stoppage. That was August 2024. Got a performance of the night for that. And last time out, right, in June this year, he beat Brenderson Ribeiro, first round stoppage, right? Another very good win. Whew. Boy, right? He's definitely been putting it on people outside the UFC, right? He's had knockouts. There's one submission, right? Arm triangle, but mainly knockouts, right? That's what he likes. He likes violence, right? He likes violence. Did win a belt outside the UFC, right? The BCF Open Weight Championship. Brave, right? It's Brave. Their belt. Okay, so he did that. Here it is. So he's going up against, right, Aleksandar Rakić, 33, 6'4", 78-inch. All right. Has got a huge reach advantage, a 6.5-inch reach advantage, which is crazy. He's 14-5 overall. Is on a 3-fight losing streak right now, right? He's 6-4 in the UFC. Now, beasts, right? He has definitely done that. So, you know, it is one of those things, right? They both have wins over Devin Clark, right? Both have that. Now, Rakić made his debut in September 2017. Right, got a decision over Francimir Barrioso. Beat Justin Ledet. Then he stopped Devin Clark, right? And that's when it all started. Because I think one of his biggest highlights, and you will see it on highlight reels and any B-roll around Rakić, it was his head kick stoppage of Jimmy Manoa. Oh, that was brutal. And especially the way Jimmy went down. Woo! Right, he lost a split to Volkov Uzumir. It was a terrible fight. Oh my God. They were both super gassed. It was terrible. He beat Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos. And I will say he beat Anthony Smith before Smith's kind of decline, as it were. So it's a good win. It's definitely a win right there. Right? And then he hit his current skid, right? He lost to Jan Blachowicz, then Yuri Prohaska, and then Magomed Ankalaev, right? But the Yuri Prohaska one was freaking crazy. That was such a crazy fight. Rakić was doing okay, right? I think he probably won the first round, maybe. But it was kind of... Yuri wasn't necessarily doing a lot, right? And then Yuri, he turns it on, and then it's just lights out. And that's what happened with that one. All right. Yeah, I mean, going the distance with Ankalaev, right? The former champ, not bad, right? Not bad. But yeah, I think with Rakić, you see potential, but there's oftentimes in a fight, he will be doing good. And then it's like it just crumbles, right? His confidence goes. Against Yuri cracked him, and then it was just kind of like panic, and everything just goes askew. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's a confidence thing, right? I have no clue, but he does kind of crumble at times. And I think that is the thing that stops him from getting to that place where he might, get a title shot or something, right? I think that is Rakic's issue. Kind of why I'm going with the professional to get this win, right? That is what I'm doing. So we then, our penultimate heavyweight clash, people. We have Aleksandar Volkov against Jailton Almeida. So, Malhalahino, I don't know. It's a weird word. Jailton Jesus Almeida. He's 34, 6'3", 79-inch reach. Overall record of 22-3. He's on a 2-fight win streak right now. He's 8-1 in the UFC. He came via the Contender Series, right? He won that contract. In September 2021, right? Second round rear naked choke. So he got that. He does like to compete in competitions as well. Does like to do that. So yeah, got that contract, made his debut against Danilo Marques in February 2022. Right, got a first round stoppage. So then beat Parker Porter, Anton Turkajai, Shamil Abdarimov, Jairzinho Rosenstruck, Got a rear naked choke on Jairzinho. He got a win over Derek Lewis. Curtis Blades stopped him like that with hammer fists. But then he beat Aleksandar Romanov and Sergei Spivak. All very good. Like, he's fought some tough people. Right? Very tough people. I think it was that Curtis Blades one, which was the wake-up call for him, because Blades just... perfect takedowns, man. Perfect takedowns. Right? Because with the Lewis fight, he was in mount most of that fight and could not get the stoppage, which was... It's a weird fight, right? It's a very weird fight. Got a performance of the night last time out, right? But he is... Alexander Volkov. He's 37, 6'7", 80-inch reach. All right, Volkov has been in there with some suits. He's got an overall record of 38-11, coming off a loss last time out. He's 12-5 in the UFC. Was a former Bellator champion. Lost a split decision to Cyril Gane in December last year. Okay, before that, he beat Sergey Pavlovich, tied to Avasa. They both have wins over Rosenstruck, right, and Romanov. He lost to Tom Aspinall. That was in London. Got caught with an arm lock in the first round. He's actually fought Gane twice. Forgot about that. Right, lost both via decision. But yeah, the last one was a split. That was very close. But man, he beat Alistair Overeem, Walt Harris, Greg Hardy, Fabricio Verdum, right? Stefan Struve, Roy Nelson, Tim Johnson, right? All really good wins. Very good wins, right? He was a Bellator champ. Also, he was an M1 champion. Won that belt too. So, man, like, Volkov is extremely tough, right? He's knocked out some veterans, man, some big names. He has lost some fights, right? Has lost some. That, right? Because Volkov was clearly winning that fight, right? And then in the closing seconds, just dropped his guard and got sparked. That was crazy. But I think because of all of his wins, right? I think Volkov knows that he's not that far away from a potential title shot, right? Not that far away. Because the division is so thin as well. He's a former champion and everything like that. I think Volkov, he wants this win, right? He wants this win. He's so many different people, different styles. So I think he will be ready for what Almeida might have. I'm taking Volkov for the win, people. I'm taking Volkov for the win. It should be good. Should be a good one, right? So our featured bout is the Bantamweight. And this is a very good fight. I think this fight potentially is for the next title shot. And that's what this is, right? Unless the only thing that would make the winner not fight for the title is if Jan beat Dalashvili, right? Because I think Merab has definitely done enough to get an automatic rematch, right? But yeah, that's the only way Nurmagomedov or Bautista doesn't fight for the belt next, right? So our bantamweight clash, we have Umar Nurmagomedov against Mario Bautista. And I cannot wait for this. So Mario Bautista is 32, 5'9", 69-inch reach. Overall record of 16-2. He's on an 8-fight win streak. Fighting out the MMA lab, right? 10-2 in the UFC. Went 2-0 in LFA. So, man, this whole streak started after his loss to Trevor Jones, which took place in March 2021. All right. He lost his debut to Corey Sandhagen, got caught in an armbar in the first round. That was January 2019. Won 2 fights and got, bonuses for both. Lost to Jones, and then, as I said, he put it all together, right? Beat Jay Perrin, Brian Callahan, Benito Lopez, Guido Canati, Damon Blackshear, Ricky Simone, Jose Aldo, and Patchy Mix recently. So, obviously, when you look at those names, like the first few, not the biggest, right? Maybe not the biggest. But, right, wins over Miles Johns, good win. Good win. Right? Brian Kelleher, good win. Benito Lopez is a good win. Right? Damon Blackshear, really, that's a good win. Right? And then you get to, Ricky Simone, Jose Aldo, Patchy Mix. And especially when Jose, former champion in the UFC and WEC, Patchy Mix, former Bellator champion, right? So Bautista has been in there with legit fighters, had some tough fights, and he's got those wins. You know what I mean? So Mario Bautista is no joke, right? He is no joke, people. You know what I mean? When you look at those fights outside the UFC, so he's got a rear naked choke in the UFC. Outside, he's got a few, right? He's got guillotines, rear naked, DARS, So he does have subs. And I mean, he trains out of the lab, right? Vincent Henderson, everything like that. So he's gonna have subs, right? And he's also got, some stoppages, but he's not a concussive puncher, Now, he's going up against Umar Nurmagomedov, who is 29, 5'8", 69-inch reach. Overall record of 18-1. So he just suffered his first loss. All right, just suffered his first loss, which was to Merab. Right, so that fight, because he's 6-1 in the UFC. Right, went 2-0 in PFL. So Merab's fight was January this year. So he hasn't fought since January And Merab has fought 4 times. Right? He's fought 3 more times since that, which is crazy. That is so nuts, right? Since that January, Merab has fought 3 more times. And he's going to fight a 5th time in December. Whew. Straight up bonkers, man. But before that, right, beat Corey Sandhagen, Bekzat Almakhan, Ronnie Barcelos, Nate Manzies. Also beat Brian Kelleher. He made his debut against Sergei Morozov in January 2021. Did get performance of the night for that win. Second round, rear naked. Then the first round, rear naked over Kelleher, right? So, but looking at their records, right? When you look at the records, Bautista has actually fought tougher competition. You know what I mean? Like, now, in Umar's last 2 fights, Sandhagen, Dalashvili, obviously, straight tough. But the rest of it, not so much. Right? Now, not saying they're not tough. I should rephrase that. But they are not top 10 fighters. You know what I mean? So there is that. Yeah, I think people am gonna take Bautista for the win, right? I think Bautista has got a similar style to Merab, right? Now, it's definitely not the same, right? Because Merab is just one of one. You know, that energy, those takedowns and everything. But Bautista does pressure, right? He will come forward. And I don't think Umar necessarily likes fighting off the back foot. I think that's what he can struggle with. And Bautista's got takedowns. So, you know, he has said Merab gave the blueprint for beating Umar. And I think that is correct, but you've got to be able to implement. And I think Bautista can somewhat put in a similar effort. So, it's friggin' intriguing. So it's great it's the featured bout, right? But yeah, people, I am going to take Mario Bautista. But it's all really picking up. So now we go to the co-main event.